Hello everyone. Find another session on pelvic inflammatory disease. In this session, we'll talk about clinical diagnostic criteria of PID. That means how the PID can be clinically diagnosed. This criteria was given by CDC. CDC stands for Centers for Disease Control. It has given these criteria in the year 2006. We start with minimum criteria. Means what should be the minimum criteria, what should be minimum present to detect PID or to doubt PID. These features are lower abdominal tenderness, adnexal tenderness, cervical motion tenderness. If these features are present, you may suspect PID. So these are the minimum criteria. Additional criteria means besides the minimum criteria, which are the other additional criteria that is also in favor of the PID. These are oral temperature above 38.3 degrees centigrade, mucopurulent cervical or vaginal discharge, raised C-reactive protein or ESR, and positive cervical infection with gonorrhea or with C. precomatis. Now we come to definitive criteria. The criteria which we discussed earlier, they only create suspicion of PID, but these criteria confirms PID. So they are called definitive criteria. These are histopathologic evidence of endometritis on biopsy, imaging study, either TVS or MRI. It shows evidence of thickened fluid-filled tubes with or without tubo-ovarian complex. Laparoscopic evidence of the PID. So these are definitive criteria for diagnosis of PID. Now, protective factors against PID. What can be done to prevent PID? So we'll discuss the preventive measures. First such measure is contraceptive practice. Barrier methods. Barrier means layer. Barrier methods protect the female genital tract or they act as contraceptive by preventing the ascent of the sperms into female genital tract. So these barrier methods are specially condom and diaphragm with spermicides. Spermicides kill the sperms, so they also help to avoid PID. Then oral contraceptive pills. How do they protect against PID? They produce thick mucus plug, preventing ascent of the sperms and bacterial penetration. They don't allow the ascent of the sperms, also don't allow the bacterial entry into the female genital tract through the mucus plug. They also decrease the duration of the menses and thereby creating shorter interval of bacterial colonization of the upper tract. That means during menses, the colonization of the bacteria occurs. If menses persists for a long time, bacteria get more time to colonize. But OC pills reduce the duration of the menstrual period. It shortens the menstrual period. So such time for the growth of bacteria will also be short. Right? So this is how it acts as the protective measure. Monogamy or having a sex partner who had undergone vasectomy. With this, there are less chances of getting PID. Other factors are pregnancy, menopause, and vaccines against hepatitis B and HIV. Now we come to the investigations. To identify the organisms, material is collected from discharge from urethra. So the discharge from urethra can be taken to identify the organism, can be examined under microscope to identify the organisms. Or the discharge of Bartholin's gland, that can be also used to check the presence of the organisms. cervical canal. So sample can be taken from cervical canal, and the sample can be the pus from fallopian tubes, which is taken during laparoscopy or laparotomy. Now, when you examine the sample, any of the previously mentioned sample, detection of the gram-negative diplococci or confirms gonococcal infection. This means in the sample, if you find presence of the gram-negative gonococci, that means it is surely a case of the gonococcal infection. But the same way, the C. trachomatis cannot be detected that easily. So, as the process of the investigation is not specific and it is time consuming, treatment of C. trachomatis, please find this correct, it is not CL, it is C. trachomatis, should be started from clinical diagnosis. This means you cannot wait till confirmation of trachomatis infection, because to detect trachomatis from the sample, it is quite a time consuming process, and also the process is not specific. So how can you treat this trachomatis infection? Only on the basis of the clinical findings. If clinical findings favor this type of infection, you can start the treatment accordingly. Blood test can be done where you find leukocytosis with WBC above 10,000 per cubic mm. The normal WBC count is about 500 or less than 500 per microliter. But here you will find the WBC count rises so greatly. Increased ESR, it is about 15 millimeter per hour. Serological test for syphilis should be carried out for all the partners, for both the partners in all cases. Next is laparoscopy. It should be considered the gold standard. It is very important method of the investigation, so considered as the gold standard. It is most reliable aid to support clinical diagnosis. Through laparoscopy, you can confirm PID very easily with very accurate accuracy. It is done only when differential diagnosis includes salpingitis, appendicitis and ectopic pregnancy, because the features of all these conditions are more or less similar. So when you are confused between all these three clinical conditions, when you are not getting what is the exact diagnosis of the patient, you can confirm it through laparoscopy. Severity of PID as per laparoscopic findings. When you go for the laparoscopic examination, whatever your findings you get, on the basis of that you can decide the severity of the PID. Like PID is mild when fallopian tubes show edema, erythema and the exudate is non-purulent and mobile. Fallopian tubes are mobile and the exudate is non-purulent. The PID is moderate when the purulent exudate from fimbriated ends come out. The tubes are not freely movable, so the movement is restricted. And the PID is severe when there is pyosulpings. So there is pus formation or the pus accumulation in the fallopian tube. Inflammatory complex is seen and also the abscess forms in the fallopian tube. So this means PID is severe. So depending on the findings on laparoscopic examination, you can know the severity of the PID. Violin string-like adhesions in the pelvis and around the liver suggest chlamydial infection. So this is very peculiar on laparoscopic examination. When you find the violin string-like adhesions in the pelvis and around the liver, then this will indicate the chlamydial infection. Next is ultrasonography. It is of limited value. You will find dilated and fluid-filled tubes. The fluid in the pouch of Douglas or adnexal mass indicate PID. So if you find the fluid collection in the pouch of Douglas or in the adnexal mass, this indicates that the patient has PID. USG ultrasonography is useful, especially where clinical examination is difficult or it is not informative. And when it is difficult, when there is acute tenderness in the part, or when the patient is obese. So in such condition, examination of the patient is not possible or it is quite difficult. So at that time you can take the help of the ultrasonography for the proper diagnosis. Another method of investigation is the culdocentesis. What is culdocentesis? It is a procedure in which peritoneal fluid is obtained from the cul-de-sac of a fellow female patient. It involves the introduction of a spinal needle through vaginal wall into peritoneal space of pouch of Douglas. So that is culdocentesis. Aspiration or aspiration of peritoneal fluid and its WBC count, if it is above 30,000 per ml, it indicates acute PID. So if peritoneal fluid is aspirated and WBC count is more than 30,000 per ml, it strongly indicates PID. Now, along with the examination of the female, male partner is also investigated, where smear and culture are made from urethral secretion, right? So these also you should keep in mind. For PID, examination of only female is not sufficient. Along with the female's investigation, the male partner should also be examined. So this was all about investigations of the PID. We'll discuss more about PID in the next session. Thank you.